cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down because I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right because I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down because I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right because I.
What up, world? This is FishnFrank here with Get Right Fantasy Network, coming at you again with another Monday overreaction show with Waiver Wire Show here. Wow, what a weekend here! Finishing off here with a double hitter on the Monday night. I'm not sure how I like those. I go back to the fact that I like to enjoy the single Monday night game to actually pay attention to one that kind of suck it all in, right? But yeah, it's a crazy week here that happened. Let's start going over here. What kind of some injury news and injury recaps here for tonight. Get your week 5 waiver wire going for the top ads, and we're doing about 65% or less, and then do some live Q&A here. So thank you for joining me here. We got some guys already chiming in here on the chat, so please drop your questions in. I'll get to them in the live Q&A section. But first of all, you gotta let you know what we got going on here at Get Right Fantasy, and what our schedule looks like this week. And we're doing again Monday nights overreaction. Tuesdays we got Phil with the extra point. Wednesdays I'm back with the roster management buy sell trade show. Although I may not be here this Wednesday, I got some things going on here. Friday we got the sit start Q&A. And then Sunday we got the active inactive with Mike. So yeah, this is our current offerings that we have during the week. So come check us out. Let's get this thing started here. What do we got going on tonight? First of all, just want to mention also the super chats here. So if you guys are inclined to donate to the show and support us, we'd appreciate the super chats. We'd obviously take more time to review your questions and dive into a little bit more. But at this point, it's time to roll some sleeves up and get your lineups ready here. Let's take a look at what we got here for the news topics and injuries going on here this week. I want to mention right off the bat, we got bye weeks this week finally coming up. So we got the Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, and Pittsburgh Steelers. So make sure you start looking at your league setup for lineups for next week. Make sure you have the players you need. If not, you're going to have to hit the waiver wire to fill any gaps you may have. So it's a good time to take a look at who these waiver wire guys are this week. We got a Thursday night matchup of the 49ers versus at the Rams here. That should be a decent game here coming up for Thursday night. So here's some of the big surprises this week, including some of the breakout performance of several rookies, unexpected duds by established stars, and the continuing impact of the injuries here. But Ashton Gentry finally, after the slow start this season, he erupted 138 yards and a touchdown, plus 2 receiving touchdowns on 17 yards there against the Bears. He definitely is proven to be the genuine bell cow role over there. Finally getting some good numbers here, with people have been wanting to see from him. We had a couple of breakouts. Kenneth Gainwell stepping up, while Jalen Warren was a surprise sit out here this week with huge performance, 25 touches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Waiver wire out of the week here coming up, and Woody Marks as well. Another breakout performance with a total of 119 yards and 2 touchdowns on 21 touches, including a receiving touchdown. So he's out carried and out snapped Nick Chubb now. I think, obviously there's going to be a shift there to him being, probably moving him into the number one spot. Drake London finally had a good day. And that front 8 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Good for him. Puka Nakua here. He led the PPR fantasy points with a stellar performance at 113 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown here against the Colts. Sorry about that, guys. Justin Herbert got right here. Patrick Mahomes got right. Justin Herbert, on the other hand, did have a terrible game against the Giants. Struggled to find rhythm. And then you got Daniel Jones here, who was doing really good, but he finally fell. He was, getting the really good starts here with the Colts. They were 3-0, but they, finally took a loss. So Lamar Jackson got injured here. I'll get that in a second. Quentin Johnson's still doing well, and Jackson Darts gets his first start, and he starts playing. Hold on one second. Sorry about this, guys. Got a reply here. Who else we got here going on? Oh, so injuries. Oh man, there's so many injuries here this week. Significant ones are the Malik Neighbors season-ending ACL tear, and then Lamar Jackson hamstring issue. So we take a look at those. But yeah, Malik Neighbors torn ACL, out for the season. Major loss to the Giants. So we're gonna have to take a look at what our options are. I got 2 options for you here later on. We got Lamar Jackson here with a hamstring issue, expected to not season injury, but could be facing some impacts, some mobility issues in the future. We'll keep an eye on him. CeeDee Lamb, he should be out for about 4 weeks. Could be 3 to 4. Jalen Tolbert, tight end. Jake Ferguson, saw some increase in targets here. Mike Evans, hamstring issue here that was mentioned last week here. James Conner, again, out for the season. Najee Harris out for the season. Let me go through here. Ricky Pearsall got a knee, he's questionable. Let's see, Jalen Warren was just inactive. Not really sure what happened with him. It was a knee issue. So it was pretty surprising. Chris Godwin finally got his start. Slow to get ramped up, but we got to keep an eye on him coming up here. So let's see. I'm going through here, and 49ers tight end George Kittle's on IR as well still, and Zach Charbonnet's foot, he's questionable. So we got to see what's going on with them. So those are all the injuries right now. Just a slew of them. I mean, there's just so much going on. But we got Colby and Quentin coming in here. So yeah, he's one of the guys I'll be talking about. I think I just mentioned Quentin Johnson here. He's doing really well. I have him on one of my leagues, and I feel that he just continued to be a strong part of the offense there for the Chargers. He caught eight passes for 93 yards and a touchdown, basically just solidifying his role there. So I would continue to roll him out week in, week out there for Quentin Johnson. So really like the guy. He's solid start. Let's see who else we got here. So yeah, sorry about that, Colby. Forgot to put you up. Let's see. Quentin Lee's you think Kendra Miller or Ollie Gordon, 14 team half PPR? I'm leaning towards Kendra Miller. Ollie Gordon, mostly he's going to touch unless Achan's really injured or, on the occasion. I think Kendra Miller has an opportunity to get more touches and looks and be on the field a lot more than Ollie Gordon. So I'm leaning towards Kendra Miller, and I got some numbers for him, and I actually have him as a waiver wire pickup this week over Ollie Gordon. I would not really mention him. He didn't have much of a game this week, only about 1 touch, I think. Forget what the number was, but just really not something worth mentioning. So yeah, let me pay some bills here. We got Underdog here. Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. We enjoy the best ball tournaments during the off season, right? We live stream a lot of those best ball leagues where you just kind of draft a team, no long-term commitment, no waivers, no trades, no weekly line setting. You just draft it and set it and forget it basically here. But right now during the season, I enjoy the pick'em contest where you simply pick higher or lower on player stats and total yards. And currently they have a promo going on, which is play 5, get 50. promo. Let me throw that up here. Sorry, guys. I'm all by myself, so I have to do a lot of work. A lot of the work here. Play 5, get Finny in the bonus funds right now for new customers. So use that code Get Right. So support the channel here. So check them out. We really like them guys. So yeah, let's get into the waiver wire here, guys. I know that you guys have been waiting on these. I'll start off with the QBs here with the Matthew Stafford with the Rams, 40% ownership here on average, completing 29 to 41 passes, 375 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Those are awesome numbers. So definitely check him out. We got Jackson Dart getting the first start, 25% owned. He did get a good strong rushing upside that he showed, getting 19.8 fantasy points. And obviously there's a lot of quarterbacks down, so those quarterback needy teams and a solid week 5 streaming option against the Saints there. So check him out. And then we got Sam Darnold, Denver. He's got 18% ownership. He's shown significantly consistent fantasy option this past year's reliable streaming option for week 5. So check him out. And then we got Carson Wentz, man. I mean, coming up here in Minnesota, completed 30 of 46 pass attempts for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But I mean, hey, with 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, you could forgive 2 interceptions. So those are some of the top waiver wire ads for quarterbacks. I'll throw in Jake Browning because he's still only 7% owned because, I mean, again, it's bye weeks and injuries going on and everything's going on. So, you got to go off somebody who's out there at least still throwing the ball, right? Let's see. Who else do we got here coming up for waiver wire? We got running backs here. We got Woody Marks with the 20 touchdown, 2 touchdown performance. He marks the top of the waiver wire ad this week. He outsnapped Nick Chubb. I think he's the top priority. I think I had him a couple of weeks ago. Kind of just wasn't really bringing him up too much, and I was just waiting for this kind of game for him to kind of shine. And obviously, he's he could be the top waiver wire of the week. Only about 30.6% rostered. So definitely go look at him. And spend a significant amount of your fab if you have to. 17 rushes, 4 receptions. He rushed for 69 yards on 1 touchdown, 17 carries. He got 4 or 5 targets for 50 yards and a touchdown there. Kenneth Gainwell, again, as I mentioned, Jalen Warren was the late scratch or what happened with them. Surprised inactive, but he came in there and gained 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. So you definitely have to keep out on Jalen Warren. I'm not saying that you can start him next week, but I mean, you get to put him in as a flex or something happens. If Warren doesn't play, then Gainwell's a must start after that. Then we got Kendre Miller. I think you had the question here about Kendre Miller. Quentin Lee here was asking about him. He had a season high 11 touches, 65 yards in week 4, and his role keeps growing with while Kamara is still the starter. But Miller's a high upside handcuff, and somebody to monitor. I mean, he's only 5%, 5.8% rostered. And I think that's why in your 14 team half PPR setup there you got going on, it's kind of you got to go deep like that for guys like this. And I think he's a better option than Ali Gordon. He's just getting more touches. I think the aging Kamara is giving him the opportunity to get some more touches and get some gameplay versus Achane, who's still relatively obviously fresh and early in his career and just can handle the workload more still. So Colby said he's almost start him next week. Yeah, I definitely would. I have Chris Olave, Jacoby Myers, and DeAndre Swift, all like D2 players. I'm in a double flex league, and I'm curious as to who I should stop or start. I also have Jamar. So we got Chris Olave, Jacoby Myers, DeAndre Swift. I mean, it's kind of rough what you got going on there. You might want to start doing some trades and seeing what you could do to, mix it up and get a top tier player. Kind of package one of your 2 guys that maybe you got a guy on your bench or somebody that goes off this week or something like that, and kind of package it with somebody to get one good guy on there to start building like an anchor person for your team to kind of hold it together there. Yeah, definitely come back for a sit start on Fridays and stuff like that. the guys that give you, a good idea on who you have there that you should be putting in. Maybe take a look at your lineup at that time. Another guy we want to look at here is Tyler Algier. Basically, despite playing behind Bijan Robinson, Algier continues to see consistent volume, and he's a valuable flex option with the top tier handcuff upcoming bye weeks. So, definitely keep an eye on him. Again, with the scarcity of these running backs and things like that, you got to be able to pick up the guys that are out there and getting numbers. And again, that's why I didn't put in Ollie Gordon here. Chris Rodriguez Jr. here for Washington. Rushed 7 times for 59 yards. He highlighted by a 49-yard run, and then 6 other carries, 11 yards. So, basically that's his total usage, 5% owned right there. So he's widely available here in your leagues. And another guy here, Justice Hill, with the Justice seen inconsistent usage, and Hill's a solid backup option worth adding with the roster spot. Justin Hill posted up 117 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns, rushing 3 times for 76 yards. And he caught 6 targets for 41 yards and an 11-yard score from Lamar Jackson. But, another guy basically with a handcuff at this point and or, spot usage here. I'm not saying he could start in next week, but definitely somebody you want to, if you have the extra roster spot room on your roster that you could put on there, he's a guy worth having. Give me a second here, guys. Take a break. All right, so let's see. Coming down to wide receivers now. We got basically a double header here for Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton on the Giants there, with Malik Neighbors going down, suffering the torn ACL Sunday there. Both of these guys saw an uptick in targets and yards. Darius Slayton went 3 for 4 for 44 yards, and Wan'Dale Robinson 3 for 5 for 14 yards. Slayton did lead the team in receiving yards and tied the team in leading receptions on Sunday. So hold on a second, guys. I gotta mute this phone. I think it's pick your poison at this point. Wan'Dale Robinson's 43% owned. I forgot what the total percentage was for Slayton. Give me a second here, guys. Slayton's 3% owned, so a lot less than Wan'Dale Robinson, because I think we brought him up last week. Wan'Dale Robinson, he had a pretty decent game, but Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson are pickups for the week. Obviously, then we got Romeo Doubs. Wow, I think I mentioned him last week. Green Bay Packers, he's 36.5% owned, coming off a monster week performance with 3 touchdowns there against the Cowboys here, but albeit on a tie there on that Sunday night game. What a fantasy bonanza that was. He went 6 for 8 target, 58 yards, and again the 3 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert also in that game with C. Lamb out. Daniel Sprain, he got a lot more significant looks, as well as the tight end. And Isaiah Bond here, Isaac Bond, Cedric Tillman's injury means Bond will see more action. With his deep threat potentials, making him a high-end ceiling addition. So, take a look at him. Another guy that we got on here. Okay, we got Matt Wagner coming in here. I'll get to yours in 1 second, Matt. Give me 1 second here. I want to finish off with some tight ends here. Let's just finish off who our waiver wire pickups are here for the week. We got Isaiah Likely here, Baltimore. He's only 13.1% owned. Again, he was just active. He's coming back. He didn't see a reception yet, but I know that Mark Andrews had a decent game. But I think, if he gets back to what he was doing last year, he's going to be the waiver wire ad. We also have Brenton Strange here from Jacksonville at 22.6 ownership. He caught 6 to 7 targets for 61 yards. Again, we're going into these bye weeks, and maybe you just need a guy to fill in for one more week. So take a look at Brenton Strange. And then Dalton Schultz here, Houston Texans, only 12.4% owned. He caught 5 of 6 targets for 30 yards. Schultz led the team in receptions, and Ty Nichols for the team lead in receptions. So you got to look at it. Unfortunately, with these bye weeks, there's they're not the greatest option, but there's somebody you can put in there. Matt Wagner's coming in here. He said traded McDaniels, McMillan, and Henry for Lamar, Justin Jefferson. Think I won? Ooh. That's going to be a tough one, man. Because obviously Lamar just had that hamstring issue tonight. You would know that, have known that, and obviously Justin Jefferson is a top tier player, but albeit without a quarterback right now, he's still throwing him. I'm not I'm Jamar thinking Chase here, but yeah, you got to take a look at these guys here. Hold on a second. Um, Hold on. I was thinking somebody else. Just Justin Jefferson caught 8-11 targets or 126 yards there in week 4 there for Minnesota. I'd be happy with that. I mean, you didn't know about the Lamar injury. Daniels is injured as well. Tet is a decent piece, and Henry is a pretty good, decent piece. But I think it was a decent trade. Aside from seeing that the Lamar injury happened, you didn't know that, so I thought it was a decent trade. I don't know if you won or lost. I'd say it's an even-sided trade. I want to go one way or another on that. But Jefferson's getting at some good numbers up here. I was thinking Chase there for a second for whatever reason, but yeah, it'd be tough to get trade him or go for him as well. But yeah, we're going to do more trade talk on Wednesday for those guys and get those people together here for your lineup. I just kind of ran through here. I mean, you guys, anybody got any questions on that? I was going through here as to what we have. Kind of went pretty fast, honestly. I just kind of recap Woody Marks being, the top waiver wire of the week. Kenneth Gainwell, we got to keep an eye on him in case Jalen Warren misses more time, and he could also obviously earn his way to get more time. Whoever thought, tight end, I should have probably put him in. Darren Waller, 3 for 27 and 2 touchdowns, coming off retirement. I thought it was I seen him coming and I was like, I don't think he's gonna do much. Next thing you know, he's actually producing there for but unfortunately, they had Tyreek Hill go down. He's gonna be out for a while. So you're gonna have to have some players step up over there for Miami Dolphins. Maybe that just means more work for Achane and his counterpart over here. So let's keep an eye on that. Hopefully any more injuries happen on there. Yeah. Anything else going on out there, guys? Got any other questions out here for me? Just kind of recapping here what we got going on with just a crazy week here. Again, Ashton Gentry getting, going off this week, getting 138 yards and a rushing touchdown and 2 receiving touchdowns. Good for him. Again, Woody Marks, we got to get Drake London had a decent game. Puka Nakua is doing his thing. Quarterbacks are struggling, and Justin Herbert and Daniel Jones here. Lamar Jackson here with the performance of the hamstring injury. And Jackson Dart just coming out here, first game winner. And just a slew of injuries here throughout. So we got to take a look at some of these guys coming up on their bye weeks. But other than that, I mean, I'll cut it short tonight. I'm not feeling the greatest anyways here. Hit me up next week here. We're going to come on Wednesday for the buy, sell, trade show and see what we have available. But appreciate you guys being here with me. Peace out.